Hi, I'm Joakim and I love making apps. I am just not sure that loves me. No, today I'm just gonna have one big mental breakdown and that's just gonna be the day. Yeah, so it's slowly becoming a very toxic relationship. Today is the single most satisfying day of the series. Am I being dramatic? No, I don't think so. Because today we'll be building the whole app. And when I say the whole app, I mean the whole app. I will not be going to bed until I'm done. I keep doing this, I will not be going to bed until I'm done, because otherwise I will procrastinate. And that is a serious issue in my life right now. But what app will I be building? Well, in the last episode we found a name and a logo. So welcome to Date Map. It's an app where you and your partner can explore a list of date maps. Each map will have a theme along with 24 date ideas. Now, each time you complete a date, you're adding a picture you took while on the date. Thereby, in the end, you'll have a nice memory scrapbook. We also did one other thing in the last episode, and that was to start my personal framework. Now, my personal framework is a blank app. It's a blank canvas. It has a bunch of common features. So that means we have a huge head start on Thomas. Now, is it fair to my friend that I'm starting with 10,500 lines of code? No, it's not fair. But also, I don't care. And when did this become a competition? This wasn't meant to be a competition. So today we'll take this blank app and make it into the date map. For that we have to build these 3 screens. You might be thinking, wow, how are you going to do this in one day? Also, since you're going to do all this in one day, you probably started pretty early. No, like it's 4 p.m. I didn't start pretty early. This is why I have to do it in one day, because otherwise I'll procrastinate, okay? Okay, so while I'm going that, I want to explain something. People often ask me what tools I use since I have so many coding projects just all going on at once. And the answer is none. Nothing. Why are you even thinking about that? The fact that I coded an app in 118 days that was supposed to take 12 days, that should probably have told you that I'm not using any of these tools. My philosophy is that you only have a plan to know when you deviate from it, not to follow it religiously. That would make you a plan fanatic. Don't be a plan fanatic. For me, a plan is there to provide an overview. It's not a schedule. When I have a plan and I don't follow it perfectly, that's fine. Why? Because shit happens. Deal with it. Move on. Otherwise you're going to be stuck replanning all the time. If you end up spending too much time on the plan, well then you're stuck in the planning phase and you never actually build anything. So sometimes it's probably okay without a plan, and the more experience you get developing new products, I can also say it becomes significantly easier to go without a plan. Sometimes all you need of a plan is just, I'm going to code this before bed, and that works. Like right now, it's working. I'm finishing this app pretty damn fast. So why is it that I can build this app so pretty damn fast? Coding is actually a lot more easier than you think. You just have to understand these 3 things. Let me say it in a fun way, because this is not about to turn into some tutorial. Coding faster, understanding number 1. In the next 90 seconds, let's learn how to interpret this design from the perspective of a coder. First things first. Design and coding is just boxes inside boxes. Let's take this home screen. We have one main column. Inside this column we have a top row, a list of boxes and a bottom bar. Let's look closer at a single box in our list. So we have the full fidelity design with the image and everything, and then we have a wireframe next to it. The wireframe is just a simple representation of the skeleton. We have some green lines around in our wireframe, and that is just empty white space. If we don't have enough white space in the design, it'll become very cluttered and, from the user's perspective, very difficult to understand. This box is just one white frame with 2 texts underneath it in a vertical form that we call a column. So now, understanding the UI structure part from the perspective of a coder, let's just quickly code this screen together. Coding faster, understanding number 2. Okay guys, now that we know how to interpret the design, we will start coding it. And again, there is no reason to worry. This is not about to go into tutorial, but you do risk learning just a little bit right now, so get ready for that. First thing, most code is actually written in English, which is very convenient. There's just this one thing called syntax in the way. It is basically the grammar rules. Syntax sucks, but it's necessary. Okay, together let's build this box. We start by making a container. Then we start a bit by giving it some color, and then we round the edges. But it is still invisible, and that is because it is empty. It is childless. We need to give it a child so that it becomes a parent. Inside it we will make a column or a vertical list. Inside this vertical list there will be the image and 2 texts. Okay, maybe you've noticed something here. We have a little bit of a hierarchy. We have the container, which is the parent. We have the column, which has a bunch of children in form of the image and the 2 texts. That's a hierarchy. That's 3 levels in a hierarchy. Just one thing. Do we call the container on the top a grandparent? I don't know. But if we do, please let me know in the comments, because I've never heard someone else say it, and I would love it if we could call this container a grandpa. And voila, we have a box. Now the box is still a bit messy, isn't it? So we will add some white space. We will add it both on the inside and on the outside. You just learned a little bit of coding if you already didn't know coding. No matter the less, one of my goals here in this channel is to destroy the illusion that coding is magical, because it isn't. It's just boxes inside boxes. Sometimes they have grandparents, sometimes they don't. Okay, and the third thing that you need to understand how I can develop this app this fast is a bit of an open secret. Calling it a secret might be a little bit too exaggerated actually. Now, in the developer community, we have what's called open source. That means that we share code, we share packages. Open source is the single thing that makes the entire internet run. So because I developed in the Flutter framework by Google, I can go in on the Google run website, pop.dev. In there, there's a whole ocean of packages that I can go in and download and use inside my app. So let's say I want to animate something. Well, I'll just search for animation. I'll import this package into my app. Now I don't have to do any like math or manual code to make the animation. I only have to write 2 words. So .animation and .shimmer, and now we have a shimmering. So as a user, it's very difficult to see this shimmer animation as new things are loading inside the app, right? Well, that is insanely easy for us to do. A quick thing to notice. If you are a software developer, remember to always check the licenses. 99% of the time, the licensing will be free in pop.dev, but it isn't always free. So keep an eye out for it. Okay guys, I need to focus about coding because this is getting too much. Yes. It might be 2 AM, but the app is done, so I don't care that I stayed up late. A smart person wouldn't probably have started a challenge where they weren't allowed to sleep at 6 o'clock at night. Luckily, I'm not that smart person, because otherwise I wouldn't be done today. It's happening, the app is opening for the first time. Okay, so the app is sort of done and sort of not. You can see there's already some content in here, but in all honesty, this is placeholder content, and it was also generated by ChatGPT. That means you still have to do all the themes. That includes both the maps and also the individual missions. But as you can see here, we have a full map. We can zoom in, move around. Again, weird location. We'll fix that when we update the content. Can I hint it? I can. And now we have the scratch screen. I'll scratch out a thing. Then we can add, let's add a picture of my dog who's sleeping tonight. If we still want to remember what we did, we can actually choose to scratch the dog. It seems super brutal right now. So yeah, we can see the progress has increased, and we can now see on top that the image has been changed into my little Dutch skull. And now we can move on to the next stage, which then have a new idea. Now, I will absolutely consider this a minimal viable product. That means the absolute minimal version of an app that we can give to users and they can try out and test and start using. I'm very proud of that. I've never built an app in only 7 hours, so that's that's a new thing. Yeah, if you want to see more app shenanigans, let me know your ideas in the comments, because this will not be the last time that I build an app in one day. This was way too much fun. And also way too stressful. I need to go to bed. Now, we do have several things missing, but none of that is code. We do have a serious work ahead regarding the content. So I mentioned in the first episode that these days are not random. They will not be AI generated. Now, I had a consultant hired to come in and help us build these data ideas for my app Lovefield, so I'll just be reusing them in this one. The consultant used to do research and flotation, so we know this is from a place of knowledge and not just some AI generated stuff. That to me is very important to say, because everything nowadays is just AI generated and it's becoming a little bit too much. I'm rambling. Good night. I can't believe that I did this in 7 hours. Absolutely. Like what? Can I show it to you, honey? It's a new day and a new trap awaits us, and this might be the single biggest solo founder and solo developer trap there is. It is one that I have walked into, and most of my solo founder friends have also walked into this trap. Let's try to avoid it, shall we? And avoid it we will, but it will not be today. I ended up rambling here for at least 5 minutes, and then another clip for at least 5 minutes, and then another clip for at least 10 minutes. So this is going to be a whole video in itself. It's going to be my next video actually. It's going to be called The Founder's Trap. Now, I don't mean to tease you too much. So in short, this trap is a perfectionist trap, and it's a trap that happens naturally also to people who are not perfectionistic. Enough, that will be in the next episode. So in the time as I basically tried to make no changes to the design and to the functionality of the app. That was intentional. Now, I have designed several apps before, So if it's the first time that you attempt designing an app, there might be some small difficulties and there might be some issues. That's okay. Just focus on making very small changes. The only changes that I made during this time lapse was white spacing. Yeah, how boring is that? Boring is good, people. Boring is very freaking good right now. Now, I will say there might be one exception when you should make a bigger change. If you have a design flaw that causes your user experience to be horrendous. And I don't mean like from 1 to 10, it's 7 bad. I mean like if it's 10 out of 10 bad, it's basically unusable. Then you may need to go back. But that's okay, because then it was a learning process for you. But essentially, try to make no changes, people, please, and just post it. And in the next video, I'll talk about posting it a lot more. Okay, but there is something you should consider before publishing your app, and that is testing. Yawn. I know, it won't take long. Okay, so this little puppy right here is crazy barky right now, so we just keep it with us, okay? When you make an app or website, don't be lazy. Test the different screen sizes. I am not joking, guys. It destroys the user experience if there's some weird bugs or it looks strange. So that is what I will do right now. And for that, I have a cool little tool. So much like the other packages, I'm downloading an open source tool called Device Preview into Flutter. And I am simply using that to simulate the different screen sizes. Essentially what I do is I go by the different largest and smallest screen sizes one by one and see if there's any errors. And as you can see right here on the iPad, there is an error. And it's pretty big. The coordination, god damn, how do you say that? English is hard, Dutchess. Okay, the X and Y axis system that is deciding where the different date buttons should be on the map is not working. It's completely misplacing them. So let's dive into that. You know what? I think I know what's happening. The map is being scaled to the size of the phone, but the buttons are not. Or the placement of the buttons, I should say. So essentially what we need to do is adjust that. And that's what I've done right here. Okay, so the last thing that I definitely should be testing, but I won't be, is Android. Yeah, the platform I develop on can run on both iPhone and Android. That being said, there are one reason why I won't be doing that. There's actually two, I guess. First of all, I don't know how to build the payment system on Android. And I do know how to build it on iPhone. And I don't have the time to teach myself to do that, because in 15 and a half hours I'm flying to Thailand. And the reason why that's also okay in most cases is actually because Android users don't use nearly as much money on App Store as iPhone users do. So the average user on iPhone is worth way more inside the app than the Android user. Financially speaking. Emotionally speaking, I'm not so sure. But this is a challenge about making money so I don't have to go back to our corporate jobs. So I don't really have the luxury of going for the lower average. I'm sorry, Android users. I will make an Android app soon though. I am incredibly proud of what we did manage to do today. YouTube think that you like this video, so give it a watch because that's how the algorithm works. Bye!